Ever wonder why we say things like face the music or drop of a hat? These phrases are everywhere, but their backstories are wild. Sometimes darker, sometimes funnier, and always more interesting than you'd guess. So let's dig into the origins of 5 sayings you probably use without even thinking. First, up face the music. Today, it means confronting the consequences, but back in 19th century theater, actors literally faced the orchestra pit and the audience when it was time for judgment. If you bombed, you couldn't run from the music or the crowd's reaction. Another version, disgraced military officers had to stand before their regiment while a band played them out in shame. Either way, facing the music was never the fun part. Next, at the drop of a hat. If you've ever wondered why decisions get made so fast, blame 19th century America. Cowboys and duelists would drop a hat as a signal to start a fight, a race, or anything requiring instant action. One flick of the wrist and things got real quick. By the late 1800s, the phrase was everywhere. Snap decisions, just add hat. What about keep the wolf from the door? This one's old, like medieval old. In Europe, wolves at the door weren't just a metaphor. Starvation was real, and wolves prowling meant you were in trouble. By the 1500s, proverbs warned to keep the wolf from the gate, and by the 1700s it became shorthand for scraping by, just barely avoiding disaster. Then there's turn a deaf ear. This phrase is biblical, literally. Psalm 58 says the wicked are like deaf adders who ignore charmers. By the 1400s, English writers hinted at people choosing not to listen, and by the 1700s it meant a willful, stubborn refusal to pay attention. Next time someone tunes you out, just remember, they're channeling centuries of selective hearing. Finally, blow your own trumpet. In medieval Europe, a noble's arrival was announced by trumpeters. To blow your own trumpet? That was seriously uncool, a major social faux pas. By the 1500s, English writers turned it into an insult for braggarts, and over time it became the go-to phrase for anyone hyping themselves up. Subtle flex or not-so-subtle brag. So next time you face the music or jump in at the drop of a hat, remember, these little phrases pack centuries of history into just a few words. They've survived duels, banquets, and even the odd wolf at the door. Pretty wild, right? If you like this little word adventure, hit subscribe for more stories you might not know.